Hello everyone and welcome to another amazing DDD Perth talk. I'm very excited to introduce our next speaker. So that is Giselle Rowe. She is an IT professional who's been in consulting since the mid-1980s. And during this time, she's taken on many IT roles, including business analyst, system analyst, programmer, strategist, program manager, and IT manager. She's also been a practice manager, delivery manager, and a regional manager for consulting organisations, and she currently heads up the strategy and design team at Insight here in Perth. So please welcome her to the stage to talk about Project Insanity.
Hi, so I'm Giselle. Thank you for choosing to come to my presentation, and for all of my Insight teammates supporting me, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Have you ever walked into a project and got that sense of déjà vu, where all the problems you've seen before, many, many times before? Well, picture this. You're a project manager, been asked to go into a new project. You know the CIO because you've worked with him in a different organisation before, but you've never worked for this particular organisation, so you're a bit green in this world. So in order to help set the scene, I've invited one of my teammates, Trent Kane, to play the role of the CIO.
Hi Giselle, how are you going?
I'm great, thanks, Trent. Team, I've got my computer set up, I've got my credentials, it's all going well. I was about to start doing some digging for some background information. Could you point me to where the business case is, please?
We didn't need to do a business case for this project. It's being driven by our need to replace some legacy software, so we've got some legacy replacement funds set aside.
Okay. So do we at least have a budget for it that I need to work towards?
Only your budget. We've got an in-house team that'll do everything else you need.
Oh, well, it's good to know that there's a team. Are they aware the project's coming, and have they already been allocated?
Not specifically, but they're a really good team of business and technology people. They'll be able to help you out with whatever you need. Just get in touch with their team leads when you need them.
Okay, cool. Now, I recall when we spoke previously, you said you wanted this to be an agile project. So are the IT team and the business familiar with agile?
Not exactly, but that's why we have you.
Great. So have we at least got a product owner?
Yeah, I've got great news. We've got a product owner called Robert. He's from Records, and he's an up-and-coming star. He's what you might call an SME. He knows a lot about our business and was involved in the last incarnation of this project.
It doesn't sound like Robert's very senior, though. Can he make the decisions that need to be made?
Oh, that's fine. Robert will have to work with the committee on all decisions.
So we have a committee then?
Yeah, we've got our standard board, and they meet monthly. We can have an urgent decision meeting, but no more than once a fortnight.
Right. I've got to say I'm a bit concerned about this because, you know, in an agile project, we need to be able to make decisions almost on the spot. But anyway, you mentioned a previous incarnation. What happened with that? Why didn't it succeed?
Well, it was a new technology. The IT team didn't know what they were doing. It dragged on and took forever, so we kind of cancelled it. I also don't think the project manager was very good.
Poor project manager.
Luckily, we have you this time.
All right, so I'd like to start talking to the business if I can, because this project's actually going to impact a lot of people. So the sooner I can start talking to them, the better. So can you tell me who I should talk to?
There's no need to talk to the business. The IT team know exactly what we need. This is a like-for-like replacement of our current system, so we have all the requirements laid out.
Oh dear, this is going to be good. I really think we need to talk to the business because, you know, there's going to be a huge change impact here. Do we at least have an internal change management team that I can leverage?
We've got a corporate comms team, and they can manage most of that. And for anything else, I'm sure you can handle it. Anyway, I've got a meeting to run to. Nice chatting. I'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Trent. P.S. Trent would never say any of those things. He actually heads up our design crew. So, you know, business engagement, user experience, all those things are pretty important to him. So, is this project destined to become Project Insanity? If it could go wrong, it will go wrong in this. There is so many things that are big red flags. Now, in fairness, it's unlikely that you're going to walk into a project which has all of them, but I'm sure every single one of us in this room has experienced many of those particular scenarios before. So the reality is, though, there's a few themes that come out when you actually look at it. So whilst there was a lot of things that we raised there, there were some key themes that we talked about. So the first one's actually around funding. So there's no business case for this. It's part of the Legacy Replacement Fund. So what? We've got money to actually change a system, but we've got no money for anything else. Nothing else. Oh, me, I'm the project manager. I'm funded. You know, but what about the rest of the team? There's no funding for additional resources. We're going to need some change management on this. We're replacing a legacy system with something new. How can we manage without some change management? It is going to impact the business. And there's no budget allocated for the internal resources either. So if you think about it, we're going to use the BAU resources. Fantastic. But they've got a day job. And given that they have a day job, somebody's still got to do it. That job doesn't go away. So if we want to use those people, then they're going to need to be backfilled. So we need some money for it. So, but money, budget in this particular scenario. The next one's resourcing. So resourcing generally is a big issue on this one. We've got a product owner. Good news. He's not a product owner. He's a great guy. Clearly, he knows stuff. He's only allocated 50% of the time, but he can't make any decisions. So how good a product owner is he going to be? The resources don't even know this is coming yet. So yeah, we're going to use the IT team. I've just got to go talk to their managers and get them on board. That's going to be easy. Yeah, right. And they're only part-time. When you have resources who are only part-time dedicated to a project, it's always a sign of potential issue. And the reason I say that is because if they've got a BAU responsibility on one side of the fence and they've got a project responsibility on another side of the fence, when there's a fire in BAU land, guess what takes priority? Every time. They will go back to their BAU work and your project will suffer. So the next theme is around decision making. We've got a committee, yay! Once a month we can get a decision. And they want this to be agile. Hello, this is not going to happen, right? Once a month, board decision. And what's worse, we all know that with committees, invariably they don't make a decision straight away. So it might be 2 months before you can even get a decision, or 3, even worse. And like I said before, the product owner is just not senior enough to make decisions. He's not a decision maker. He's not somebody that the organisation will respect and agree to his decisions. There needs to be somebody at a very senior level who other people will adhere to the decisions that they're made. Business engagement. No need to engage the business. IT know what they want. Gotta love it. How many times have you heard that? The IT team know exactly what the business wants. How can they? Sure, they may know some of the things that are wrong with the existing systems, and they know some of the gripes that come out of the business, but they don't know everybody's job and all the things that they do in their day-to-day job. They don't know the things that drive those people insane because of what they have to do with the systems they're doing. They don't know the processes. They do not know what the requirements are. No UX. Gotta love this one. As Trent actually said recently, there's no such thing as no UX. If you've got people involved and a system, there is a user experience. If you don't design for it, it will be a bad experience. You need to design for it to make sure that it's a good user experience. No change management. Yay, we've got a comms team. So good, they can send out some emails and they can put something up on their intranet. That's going to be really cool. But that's not change management. Change management involves bringing people along the journey so that when they get to the end, they embrace whatever it is, whatever technology it is that you're trying to put in. Like I said, corporate comms are not change managers. And they've got a very busy workload anyway, so they're not going to be able to do very much. And then the final bit, Agile. They've got no idea what Agile is. This is going to be an Agile project. Yay. If you're going to try and run an Agile project for an organisation that's never done Agile before, you're going to spend an awful lot of time in coaching and training just to bring them along that journey, which is going to eat into the time for the project. So in this particular case, the organisation is very immature. They don't know what they're letting themselves in for. They don't even know what they've asked for. And out of the box. How many times have you heard this? It's out of the box. No customization, it's just configuration. And that's why we don't need to talk to the users. Hello? Have you ever seen a legacy system replaced by something off the shelf that's exactly the same, that follows exactly the same processes as the previous one? And why would you do that anyway? Because the reason for changing is to improve things. So either you're going to have to do a lot of change management around processes and organizations and how people work, or you're going to have to customize the heck out of this piece of software in order to make it feel like the one they had before. And it's always configuration. And how do you configure it unless you talk to the business? You don't know what to configure it with. So lots and lots of red flags in here. It's no wonder the last one failed. If they followed the same premise last time, it was never going to succeed. So what can we do about it? As the project manager on this, there are a number of things that I can do. Whoa, and my pictures have all gone. There we go. There are a number of things that I can do. The first one is actually to define what success is. Right at the moment, success is replace XYZ legacy system with Project Insanity and all will be well. Replacement of a system is not a definition of success. For success to happen, it's got to be measurable. So the success may be people are now more efficient, that the organisation makes more money, that we can do more with less, whatever it is, but it has to be measurable. Replacing a legacy system with something new is not a definition of success. And in this scenario, sure, you can go and create something new, but it won't work. It won't be successful because the people aren't involved, because the organisation doesn't know what they're getting into. Next thing, Project Management 101, have a plan. We all know the old adage, fail to plan and you plan to fail. In this scenario, that is so true. The plan will need to be really, really robust. And the schedule needs to encompass everything that you know needs to happen. Not just what they think needs to happen, but what you know needs to happen. And then once you've done that, and this is the most critical step, is to actually run a risk workshop with all the key stakeholders. You need to get them in a room and help them to identify all the risks. And you need to be very, very granular. So we can't have a risk that says resources aren't available. The risk has to be we can't get the resources from finance when we need them to be able to do whatever it is. Or the BAU IT resources get pulled off onto BAU activities and off the project. All of those are different risks, and you need a different risk for every single resource issue. And the reason you need a different risk is that you then need to get an owner for all of those risks. So the owner for the one about the finance people would be the finance manager. The owner for the one about the IT people would be the IT manager. And then more important still, they have to take some action to make sure that it is mitigated. So define the risks, identify the mitigation and the owner, and then make it happen. And then you can come up with a budget, because we've just doubled the cost of this project with the schedule that I would have come up with in this particular scenario, at least, in order to make it work. Agree the budget. If you can't get agreement on the budget, which includes backfilling your BAU resources or whatever it is, great time to walk away, because it won't succeed. It will go over budget and then everyone will be screaming at you. And bear in mind, I'm taking this from the perspective of a project manager, but even as a team member on the team, you can help identify those risks and help to work to mitigate those risks and to, take ownership of some of those risks. So it's not just the project manager. And the project manager cannot own the risks. They must be owned by someone who could do something about it. So I've seen project risk schedules this big, and the owner of all of them is the project manager. Still won't work. And there's a whole load of others which I don't really have time to deal with, but agree ways of working. Engage the business. You've got to talk to them. Demonstrate bad UX and get the people who are on side to see it. So I'll leave you with two things. The first is that IT projects rarely fail because of the technology. IT projects generally fail because of all of the things around it. It's the people and process and money aspects that make it fail. So we're talking people, we're talking the resourcing, we're talking the business engagement. Money is obvious, the funding one. And the process, how decisions are made, how you're going to work on the project. If you don't get all of those things right, that's what will cause the project to fail, not the lack of the technology to do its job, because we've got some really, really clever technical folk out here who can make it work, and they'll always overcome those challenges. And at the end of the day, the stakeholders need to acknowledge that there are risks. They need to accept ownership for those risks, and then they need to action those risks. And if you can get them to do all that, you've got the best possible chance of success. In this scenario, you still might fail, but it'll give you the best possible chance of success. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that amazing talk. I know that I've definitely learnt a few things. I'll be on the lookout in the next project that I'm joining in. Hopefully not quite as many red flags.